This is a spiritual message for the new moon in Cancer. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Brittany. I am an intuitive tarot card reader and astrologist and a money and business coach for spiritual women in business. And I'm going to be pulling cards today for the new moon in Cancer. What type of energies are coming along with this new moon? How can we best work with these energies, etc. And I'm using different decks. So I have the Star Codes, Astro Oracle. I'll be pulling an overarching energy. And then I'll be using the Good Tarot for the main body of the message, and then at the end we'll wrap with an archangel message. Okay, Spirit, what is the overarching energy for the collective for this new moon in Cancer? Thank you. Okay, we've got two here. Fifth house. So this is the second time that we've got fifth house specifically from this deck. Am I missing anything? Okay, this is specifically from this deck. We've got the fifth house. We also have the South Node, which is in Libra. So this is about letting go. So even though this is a new moon, there's still a little bit of shedding here. And while I was meditating, I specifically got like letting go of this idea that we are not enough to go after the things that we want to go after, the ideas that were initiated in Gemini season when the new moon was in Gemini and it was conjunct Venus, and I think Jupiter was in there with the new moon in Gemini as well. So there's a lot of mental energy going on, a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas, excitement, collaboration. But then I feel like coming into Cancer season where we're getting out of our head and more into our emotions, there's a little bit of a sense of overwhelm associated with, can we do it? Are we good enough? The underlying question is, are we good enough? And I feel like with this fifth house passion, and I'm going to look at Vesta and see what it represents, but with this fifth house of passion, the answer is you don't have to be. You don't have to be good enough. You just have to be good. You just have to be going. You just have to start painting. You just have to get started. You just have to take the initiative. There's no necessarily such thing as being good enough. You are already good enough. What you're really asking is, what we are really asking ourselves is, can we be perfect? Can we be perfect? Can we ensure that nothing is going to go wrong? Can we ensure that if we start this project that we're not going to mess it up, that things are not going to go according to plan? No. The answer is no. And that's why there's a sense of overwhelm, because we know that there is no certainty when it comes to, whether or not things go right or not, right? And then with Vesta, hearth, it says Vesta calls you to be a hearth fire, to share yourself for the benefit of all, but still have enough energy left to live healthfully and give again another day. It says, evaluate yourself in your life. Each human's task is to help reduce the total suffering of earth and increase total joy. Your joy and suffering matter as much, neither more nor less than anyone else's. Don't burn yourself up for another's cause, nor withhold your warmth, but share what you have to offer. So this is about getting started. This is about taking action on the things that excite you, on the things that you're passionate about, not allowing the idea of what could go wrong to stop you from actually getting started. Because if anything does go wrong, you're capable enough to course correct along the way. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some tarot for the new moon in Cancer, for the collective messages, Spirit, for the new moon in Cancer. What messages do you have for the collective from the Good Tarot for the new moon in Cancer? Two of Swords. This is about making a decision. This is about getting out of a stalemate and taking action. So specifically for my spiritual women in business, if you have passion, ideas, dreams, goals, projects, things that you need to initiate, but you're not taking action, this is your call to act. This is your call to act. High Priestess, you already have everything that you need. The High Priestess is the counterpart of the Magician. And she is confident in herself because she already knows She knows all. And using your intuition, I feel like also. So being confident in the fact that you already have everything that you need because it is already inside of you, and acting from an intuitive place, rather than from a place of fear, you know, because we have intuition and then we have insecurities, right? And I feel like with the Seven of Air, our insecurities are playing on us. I do feel like there's like mental chatter. We also have the Messenger of Air. There's some mental chatter going on. There may be some people around you who might be either speaking against you or speaking counter things. Like there's a lot of, I feel like with the Seven of Air and the Messenger underneath the deck, there might be some confusing energy that might be keeping you from taking action. You might be getting unnecessary input from other individuals that will cause you confusion, that might be keeping you from taking action here. But this is going back to needing to, with the High Priestess, trust your intuition. Okay, you need to trust your intuition, trust your gut, trust this internal feeling. What excites you more? Which opportunity excites you more? Which idea brings you passion, revs you up, makes you ready to take some sort of action? Okay, and then with the Messenger of Air here, that's exactly what you need to do, is take action. Who do you need to reach out to? Who do you need to communicate with? What steps do you need to take first in order to make this come into fruition, to get it started? Because we're still at the initial stages, and I think that's another thing too, is like wanting everything to be complete, wanting things to be finished before they even get started. Like, not you want to be you want to start at the finish line, and it just doesn't work like that. You got to run the marathon. You have to run the marathon. You have to get going. You have to get started before you even run the marathon. I feel like we're in the training stages, really, you know. Or we're at the mini-thon. I don't know. It's not even necessarily, we haven't even really started the race yet. We're still contemplating as to whether or not we're going to use all of the skills that we have acquired over the last few years that we've been working on ourselves, working on our businesses, working on our personal lives, working on our relationships. We've gone through so many shifts and changes to get to this place over the last few years. And we're sitting on the sidelines questioning whether or not we're ready to get in the race and use all of the experiences that we've come across up until this point so that we can actually cross the finish line. And when it comes to a marathon, it's not about being in first place. It's about finishing. It's about finishing. It's about getting to the finish line, not quitting, not giving up, continuing to be consistent, continuing to run the race, even when you're tired, even when you're thirsty, even when you're weary. Understanding your pace, knowing what pace you need to go out. Don't outpace yourself. Don't try to run before you even really get started and lose your breath and you're not even halfway there. Paying attention to your ebbs and flows if you need to slow down. When it's okay to speed up. When it's okay to slow down again. Again, this is not a race. It is a marathon. All right. And then I've got two here. I'm new to using this deck, so I'm not necessarily intuitively connected to it just yet. And I'm also new to working with the archangels by name. So I don't know them by name as much as I know about interacting with my own angels. But we have Archangel Christiel. Connect with unicorns and receive the white ascension flame. So we'll start here with this one, like you are. If this card is coming out about connecting with the unicorn, I feel like this is about being your authentic self. With Pluto in in Aquarius retrograde, this is about being your authentic self and allowing yourself to show up and shine in your authenticity and being okay with that, being okay with being unique, with being different, with doing things differently, being innovative, putting yourself out there. And then Archangel Charity, give with an open heart, be generous. And I feel like this card is kind of going with Vesta, the hearth, about showing up and playing your role in the collective. What role did you come here to play within the collective? And how are you showing up and representing that aspect or that area? And who are you letting down by not showing up and being who you're called to be, being your most authentic self, giving generously while also taking time for yourself and finding that level of balance. So I feel like that is the energy that we are dealing with during this new moon in Cancer, figuring out who we are, who we want to be, what we want to do, and how do we get out of our own ways so that we can accomplish it. And it starts with trusting your intuition, first of all, and being okay with being yourself.